Thank you for being here. For being here. And here to everyone joining online as well. And that's the funny thing, you know, we can think of ourselves as these separate individuals in different rooms and places in the world. But in actual fact, we are truly in the same space, united, present in consciousness. And it's this which unifies us. It's this which reveals our same one beingness, consciousness. Really, if we investigate what we are, what we think we are, if we really truly investigate, we will come home to this. We are consciousness. We are all. We are everything. Always here. Something I like to remind everyone of always is that realization is resting in the experiential realm. Truth is experiential. Love is experiential. Consciousness is experiential. It's very common and very easy to give too much emphasis or relevance to the notion of realization. The idea that somehow if you can get the realization, you'll be realized. Everything will be finally perfect, fulfilled and whole, and there'll just be lovely, sweet wonder. The thing is, it's one thing to have realization. It's altogether something else to embody realization. So that there is no difference between that which is realized and that which is experienced and expressed. And actually, in a funny way, realization doesn't really mean much. I realized. Oh, everything really is one. What happens when the seeker becomes so hooked on this? I realized. Oh, I had a realization. That's here. What matters is the state in which realization has arisen. What matters is the space in which realization abides. And so, as long as there is a fixation about getting it, I want to get it, there's actually a distraction, and this constant tendency to depart this space in which realization is abiding. You see, realization is not an object, it's not a product. It's not something you can freeze frame, capture, bottle, formulate. It's not. Realization truly is beyond definition. Realization is experiencing. If we have true realization, then we do not depart this space in which it abides. So here is the challenge, you see, not to chase realization as something to get, something to know, to realize somehow mentally, but rather something to embody. And this is the trick. The mind thinks, oh, how do I embody this? How can I truly integrate the realizations I've had? And yet the answer to this is so simple, so ever-present, so constant. You are the space. Your being already engenders the state in which realization emerges. But of course, because of conditioning and this inclination to chase the concept, this so-called product, this thing that I've got to get and get it all right, I've got to get all the pieces to somehow embody the realization. Imagine if you let go of this conditioned idea that the definition, the concept, realization has no relevance. What if you could let go of this and just relax into the space in which you have encountered some realization? You will realize that actually you are always that space. Within you is always the space for realization. So if your intention, if your quest is to embody whatever realization you've had, then the simple truth is you must pay attention to what cultivated that space in the beginning. Spiritual realization can just become another layer, another construct, another game of the identified self. Let's consider this from another perspective. I've also oftentimes mentioned that enlightened and unenlightened are distinguished by one thing: focus. Enlightened presence is here. You are not focused on something, you are the focus. Unenlightened is there, focused on something, externalized, chasing out. That's really the simplest distinction. And the truth is, within the human nature, both those qualities, aspects of consciousness exist. It's not that I or some Buddha somehow has some exclusive right to a more conscious, enlightened experience. This is not exclusive. Buddha's life was a demonstration, an example, to show by example the way to realize as an embodied experience. Now, if we also look very clearly into this, we begin to realize that embodiment then does not mean, oh, when I do this, then I will be enlightened, and then I shouldn't do that. And I can only choose this way or that way. My relationship must look like this, and true union, divine love must look like that. What is experiential? What is experiential? Imagine just for a moment that you accept what I'm saying, that realization abides in experiential beingness, okay? Imagine you just accept that for a moment. Then that means that this realization is not actually a thing, it is a continuum, it is a happening. You are this continuum, this happening. You are this right here, right now. You can't put this into a box because this is changing. You can't carry around a box of yeses and nos. I want, I don't want. You can only be this moment, here. There's nowhere else you can be experiencing. Not last time I looked. Now, the tricky thing is, you can experience your memories in this now, can't you? Right here, right now, when you are engaged in the mind, in the memories, that is something you are experiencing in this now. When you have an inspiration for tomorrow, that is something you are experiencing in this now. So as I've pointed out before, here's another trick. Now is not something you can put a box around either, as time and place. Now is experiential. Experiential is continuum. What you actually experience now is not separate from the previous moment, nor is it separate from the next moment. But where the human gets so complicated, and I mean the human gets complicated, complicates things, is that there's too much relevance given to the way you define this. And this is where one gets distracted, in trying to hold on to the realm of definition as somehow having the relevance. And this is how you continue to carry bias and conditions. And it's very, very valuable to recognise that in actual fact there are many, many foolish layers in the spiritual journey that you mistakenly think are what you need to be more realised, and they're just nothing more than additional conditions, inhibiting your capacity to be truly experiential here now and awake to this. So that means realization is not somewhere over there, somewhere far away, or something you vaguely encountered in the past that you're somehow trying to integrate and embody. Realization is here. And then, yes, so I can hear the thoughts and the worries and the concerns that, oh yes, I get that, but then how do I? Well, you see, again, you give too much authority to the mind, its ideas, and the whole notion of conditions, etc. Yes, conditions are here. Yes, you are experiencing by way of habit, by way of focus, by way of identification. Yes, layers of conditions. But so what? You are here. And you know, really, the number of your conditions actually does not reduce your capacity to be present here in this moment. You have as much capacity to be here and present in this moment as I do. Wow, that's really surprising. Bing! The difference is, I don't buy into that story, that identification. Ironically, it is largely a matter of choice. How many impulses you have that want to cling onto the suffering, cling onto the pain identity, cling desperately to the victim identity. Do you choose to be here? Do you choose to truly experience yourself here? It has been revealed again and again and again and again that it really matters not what conditions you have, because even if you are a murderer and you finally choose to be utterly present here to that which you are, you will have realization. It's been revealed again and again and again and again that the conditions do not in any way have delegation over that. Be present, be truly here, available, experiencing this moment, and you will have realization. It may not come instantly, but surely it will. And this is not something you have to acquire anything else for. You don't have to get anywhere else. You don't have to get it. You don't have to get anything. Just be. And so the power of consciousness, really, it's irrefutable. It's why if for enough moments you give the priority to being here, be the focus, you will come into yourself. You will realize, experience consciously. And so this is why Satori is possible for anyone. The challenge is for you to realize how that Satori has arisen. And to give it its due value. You see, in this world, we're constantly fed these stories that so many other things are more valuable, more important. Want to be present? No, my wife says we got to go and do this or that. Want to be present? No, I better make those, all those tasks tick, tick, tick. Yes, I better make those deadlines tick, tick, tick. Deadlines. I mean, come on. Really? You want to make deadlines? Wow. You see, we're living in a world that is so lost. The human has gone wandering off far, far, far away from here as self. Not fundamentally, perceptually, because we are always here. But it is a matter of degrees in perception. And that's what seems to create such a profound and stark contrast between awake and unawake. Thing is, even just a tiny, tiny little taste of your true self, your true nature, to rest for enough moments in presence to feel the calm and the peace. Just a taste of that is enough for you to regain a sense of values and priorities. That doesn't mean it's always going to be easy, because we are living in a world that wants to persistently, consistently tell you something else. Now, that's where someone like me comes into the picture, because I simply become momentarily a reflective point of focus. So even though you think your focus is externalized on me, I am nothing but a mirror of that within you. So I am pointing back to you. So your focus is here with yourself. It's being constantly returned to yourself. So someone like me simply serves momentarily as that reflective point of focus, serves as an example that the real joy, the real richness is in this. And there's nothing at all to be threatened by or jealous about at all. It's something to be profoundly excited about, because this really shows you that when you have your priorities right, when you really allow yourself to realize, you don't depart realization, then you live in joy, in freedom, in oneness. You embody it. And that is what you and every human is really seeking. Your idea of trying to get to success, your idea of trying to have the perfect relationship, your idea of trying to be healed, blah, 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 all these things is all hinging on this same truth: to be present, truly present as yourself, to be your own realization, to be your own experience of this, to bring forward this immeasurable love that is you. You doubt that, but I'm here as that reflection to remind you that the love you are is immeasurable. The consciousness you are is all-reaching, all-knowing.